So Minister McMeekin, you are now the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
I am, I confess.
And so what is your goal for this term of office as Minister?
Well, I haven't set goals yet. I'll be speaking with the Premier with respect to a mandate letter. But in generic terms, I want to look at the Municipal Act and some changes that need to be made there. I think election reform is something that I hear from a number of people that is important. I would like to advance growing the Greenbelt. We've already said we want to do that, but the mechanics of that need to be sorted out. I have a passion for social housing. 35 years ago, I wrote my master's thesis on how to do social housing better. I think we were doing it better 35 years ago than we are now. 35 years ago, we had a federal partner, which is not always the case. But I'm optimistic. I'm not making any judgments. I'm going to go up and meet Jason Kenney and talk to him and talk to my good friend Mayor Watson up in Ottawa. And I'm going to put together a kitchen cabinet of key municipal leaders, and hoping Russ Powers will be one of those as president of AMO. We're going to do it on both the municipal side and the housing side to help me vet some of the thinking and give me some feedback when I think it's necessary to do that. So I'm going to do all of those things. There are all kinds of issues on the plate. I've been in briefings all day, Joey, so it's one of those things. Tomorrow and Friday I'm in the constituency. I'll be from 10 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night on Monday doing more briefings. And I got like that much reading to do.
How specifically, being as specific as you can,
Yep.
how specifically does it help Hamilton that you are in this portfolio?
Well, I don't know. I think the first thing I'm going to do, you may have heard this, Sam, is that I'm going to do a what I call a building bridges tour. If there's a gulf between the province and municipalities, I'm not sure there is, but were there to be a gulf there, when you build a bridge, you build it from both sides into the middle. So I want to be the person that tries to bring folk together, to have dialogue, to articulate concerns. I know this city very, very well, and I intend to make my first stop in the Building Bridges tour right here in Hamilton. I've been invited by the mayor, his worship, to come and to speak to City Council.
And when is that?
Well, they've suggested a date which may be tough, Peggy, but that's because we're in session, but we'll find a date. I've also arranged today, I spoke with Steve DeLuca, the new Minister of Transportation, and said when I go to City Hall to share with them some of what our government's doing on the municipal side and how we need to be working together and partnering and what we can learn from each other, will you come with me? And he said he would. So that's good. So if there are then questions about transit or LRT or what constitutes base funding or any of that stuff, over to you, Stevie, right? That's what will happen.
One of the things that comes up here often is downloading, and how there's like a disparity of millions and millions of dollars between what the city says it's saving and what the province says it's saving. And I know there are a lot of ministries involved in that. But isn't it up to you now to sort of go to bat and see what you can do about that?
Well, we have a memorandum of understanding through AMO, which Hamilton has signed on to, which has a schedule of what's going to be uploaded between now and 2018. Russ Powers, the president of AMO, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, says we're ahead of schedule, which is good. You know, we pledged during the campaign that we wouldn't deviate from the memorandum of understanding. We would honor it, and we intend to do that, and I intend to make sure that happens. So, you know, we have a contract with municipalities, including Hamilton. They've signed on, and I will do everything I can to make sure that's honored to the benefit of our great city.
Okay.
Any new news on Randall Reef at all in terms of how far they're over budget? Or?
No, I haven't. I hear they're over budget, but I don't know by how much. And let me just say that I'm committed to getting the project done, as I think are the feds. The feds have official carriage of the project. Need to make that happen, but we're delighted to be partners. Nobody likes a cost overrun. I understand there are going to be some meetings with some industry folk to see why that is and if there are some ways we can curb the costs. And I would anticipate that that I, or perhaps Minister Murray, as the new Minister of the Environment and Climate Change, will be around for those meetings, assuming they're on at a convenient time.
On the subject of LRT, just the question that's always asked.
Yeah.
But I haven't had a chance to ask you specifically.
Sure.
We have a majority.
Yep.
You have a majority government now.
Yep. That's good news, right?
There's been a message from this council that they want 100% LRT. What are you doing at Queen's Park in regards to that now?
Well, I'm talking to Gwen Murray. As you may recall, Minister Murray agreed to come down and have discussion. That's important. I mean, the municipalities that are moving ahead with their own rapid transit schemes are those that have met with the province and have had time to work out the details. You need a business plan. You don't just plop something down. It's got to be integrated. You don't want to take a GO train, assuming we can purchase the tracks. We're having some negotiations there, and get off at the new Leona station and take a taxi uptown. You know, you want to have a system that delivers you uptown, right? How that's going to work, and the phasing of that, and the scheduling of that, and the acquisition of land for that, and all those other things are something we got to put together in a business plan together. And the new minister, DeLuca, has said he'd be delighted to come down and ensure that process carries on, and that we can fulfill the obligations that we have. We pledged 100% base funding for rapid transit. I have said, and will repeat again for the record, that I intend to take my guidance from my local council. I trust their judgment, and look forward to working with them on this and other things. Part of why I want to come here and have an opportunity to chat with council is to face head on whatever questions they have. What you see is what you get. I'm not trying to hide anything. We'll talk about it.
So what are you bringing to the table, to the council?
Just me, buddy, just me. You know, I had my start here. I was the youngest member of City Council in 1977. In hindsight, probably the least effective. But I did team up with Henry Merling, which was quite a learning experience, I can tell you. And Jack McDonald was here, and we still had the Board of Control. So it was a good experience. So I'm coming full circle. I think I'm the only one in Hamilton who has been a member of Hamilton City Council, a member of Regional Council, and sat on a suburban council.
What's the minimum offer the province is willing to give council on LRT?
I have no idea.
When you say 100% funding, what do you mean by that? Do you mean no strings attached? That means there's no impact upon the Hamilton taxpayers?
Well, we call it base funding. I think the proper question that we need to ask, Andrew, is what constitutes base funding? I'm not clear what that is, and that's why I want to have the minister come. I'm being very frank with you.
Council is being very clear and frank about that too. They want the same deal that the province gave the projects in Toronto when the big move was first announced.
Right.
So are you saying...
Well, that involved, you need to know this, because just for historical reasons, that involved federal funding. It also involved Mayor Ford.
Not
No, it did.
Not all
Mayor,
of it.
Mayor Ford had to come to the table with a tax increase. He has a specifically designated tax increase. And the feds, I think it's, Peggy, you might know, is it 700 million or so that, I know the feds are there. They petitioned the feds to get involved. And there was on again, off again, subways, LRT, the whole bit. So there's been, I think it would be fair to say, I don't think I'm speaking out of school, some confusion around Toronto's plans and a combination of funding that's been sent there. So,
well, with respect, and that confusion involves Metrolinx, because they have said that 96% of those original $16 billion in funding came directly from Metrolinx.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I'm going to ask...
Metrolinx will be involved in this, Andrew, of course, and we'll be involved in it. The Premier's gone out of her way to say we got $29 billion on the table. She has said that she'll work with the city and will take guidance from the city about how we get a comprehensive integrated system together. You don't just plop something down, you got to phase it in, you got to decide what's going to go first, what's going to go next. And you know, that's what we're committed to. And the Minister of Transportation is anxious to come down and sit down with the Hamilton folk and work that.
So-
Right now, you're telling us you don't know what base funding is, though, what it consists of.
Well, I think that's the question that needs to be asked. What constitutes base funding? Clearly, we're not talking about ongoing operating funding. Does it include acquisition of land? I don't know. I'll have to talk to Metrolinx and the minister about that. You know, you just, as I say, you just don't plop something down. You know, it's got to be cogent, right? It's got to be thought out. It's got to have a plan attached to it. And I'm not the Minister of Transportation, but I'm doing everything I can to make sure the minister gets himself down here to clarify whatever needs to be clarified.
I'm going to
Next
ask
month or so?
Well, as soon as we can. As soon as we can.
Do you plan to clarify this before the municipal election? Or are you guys doing a wait and see to see how the municipal election turns
I
out?
think we're going to clarify it as soon as I can get down with the minister to talk to council.
I'm going to ask you a billion-dollar question here.
Yeah.
Hasn't this council already said they want LRT?
They have unanimously said that, and I know there's, you know, formally, I shouldn't say more than that, but we make investments. We don't have a limitless pool of dollars. We need to do what's in the best interest of Hamiltonians, I'm saying as determined by their duly elected council. I'm committed to that, whatever that is, and that's my position. That's my position I've articulated in cabinet. It's my position that I've articulated to Minister Murray, although it's interesting that he's no longer the Minister of Transportation. You know, we have a new minister, and I think the new minister's a pretty sharp guy, and will be more than willing to share from his abundance of information and intelligent
So with that in mind, are you up there, knowing that council has unanimously said LRT, are you up there knocking on doors, taking people out to lunch, doing what you have to do to...
Well, I have very limited time to take anybody to lunch right now.
You know what I'm asking.
I'm busy as a termite in a lumberyard, but
Yeah.
let me just say that the city's position is well known to me. It's been articulated by the mayor and some members of council, not all members of council, but some members of council, and I'm aware of it. I'm a fan of transit. I think Minister Murray, when he was in town, made a very good case for LRT as the best investment in terms of return on investment. And I've always seen LRT for what it, let me be candid. I've always seen LRT not so much getting people from point A to point B, but more in terms of the business case, the model that can arguably say to people in Ancaster who think we're throwing money into the inner city, that I say, well, I don't think that's true. But if it were to be true, why don't we do something to assist changing the assessment ratio so that it is more favorably changed in favor of residential taxpayers? The way you do that is by getting business and commercial growth. And I think that, from my perspective, I think that's what I want to see in terms of the planning and you know, the mechanics of how we make this.
A question
sound like a
from
pro-LRT.
viewers.
Sorry,
A
go.
question from a viewer at home. As Minister of Municipal Affairs, you deal with the Planning Act, and they're wondering what's your opinion of 6-story wooden structures?
I favor that. The fire chiefs have said that they favor it too, provided that the wood is properly treated. So that's a caveat to it. I think the wood and lumber industry, forest industry in the north has had some difficulties, and I think this would be a good way to create new employment opportunities and while providing housing, lower cost housing to people that require housing.
Can I ask you one more LRT? It's our favorite subject of
Sure.
the media here. We love this subject.
Yeah.
You sound like you're pro LRT. You sound like an LRT fan. Would that be?
I'm a transit fan, and I think
Yeah,
that.
but are you pro LRT?
Let me say this. I think in all likelihood that includes LRT. Whether it's the first up or second up, how it gets phased, how it gets worked in together will be something that we will determine in concert with the duly elected council, who I think are quite well versed in what they want to see.